Game reviews. There are literally so many of them out there. Do I really need to review Metroid Prime? Of course not. I'm just gonna do another playthrough and talk shit about the game itself. No, this isn't a Metroid Prime review. This is a pro series on Metroid games. Now don't fucking scream at me that I'm copying Civvy, because it's not like he was the first person to talk about video games in the style he does. I would be copying Civvy if I did a pro series on the games he did, like Blood or Shadow Warrior, but I'm doing a pro series on games that he won't even fucking touch. Yeah, we're doing Metroid Prime as my first pro series video. Metroid Prime is one of the most important video games of my life. Probably more important than any other game I know. I don't know, it's a hard choice choosing between this game and Halo as being my childhood games that I've been playing since I was fucking 3 years old. But let me tell you, I may never have gotten good at gaming if it weren't for these two. Now you guys might have a seizure when I tell you this, but we're playing Metroid Prime with the Dolphin emulator using PrimeHack. Why? Because I don't have a capture card for my Wii and I'm not using motion controls for hours on end. Also, there's a low FOV and my wrists start to burn up after like 30 minutes because of the carpal tunnel, so we're playing with mouse and keyboard. And if you think that makes the game easier, it actually does. But having to relearn all of the muscle memory from the GameCube controller, then to Wiimote and Nunchuck, and then now to mouse and keyboard. I will say that this FOV slider and stuff makes the game a lot more enjoyable, because if you like 75-degree field of views, then there's obviously something wrong with you because I can't fucking see anything that's right next to me. Part of the reason why I hate low FOV is because I was playing Halo Reach one time and I was shooting at something in front of me and then I got smacked and died instantly by a brute who was like right fucking next to me. I couldn't see the motherfucker when he was standing right next to me. Now you guys know why I can't stand FOVs below 90 degrees, but enough about that little tangent for now. But Metroid Prime is one of the best first-person shooters, I mean first-person adventure games ever created. I do think Prime 2 and Prime 3 are better games overall, but I tend to revisit the first game a lot more for whatever reason. Maybe it's the fact that I played this game since my 3rd birthday in fucking 2007. God damn, what a crazy year 2007 was. I didn't even fucking know it, but we'll talk about 2007 eventually. Metroid Prime was released November 17th of 2002, but before we go anywhere into the game itself, for 2002 this game is beautiful. The colors are so vibrant, the locations are artistically varied. Yeah, some of the textures don't really hold up. It's a bit rough around the edges, but it still looks pretty goddamn good. Metroid Prime is a goddamn technical marvel. Like, this game was released on the goddamn GameCube and ran at 60 frames per second and was never once stuttering or itching for me when I ever played it on my dusty old GameCube from 2007. Also, packing in all of this detail to make the world feel so immersive, like, holy shit, the environments in this game are incredible. But let's get into the actual game itself. You see, we're playing on Veteran because Hyper Mode isn't unlocked on my PC yet, and Hyper Mode is just, how do I put it? It doesn't make the game harder, it just makes the game tedious. If I was playing the GameCube release, you'd see me break the game by doing ghetto jumps and getting upgrades early. Speedrunners know what I'm talking about. Metroid Prime gives us a badass opening cutscene that's, well, just watch it. God damn, I love that shit. Samus looks really good too. Her armor is a bit bulky, but I can forgive it because you barely see her anyways, but the game starts you off by testing your aim on some lights. It's a silent trip in this game, and I often wish there were some areas that just had no music and just some ambient background noise, like this whole section in particular. Walking down that one hallway with no music accompanying you is unsettling, only hearing your footsteps. I mean, this whole level is creepy as hell. Scanning corpses with the scan visor and learning about how they got fucked up is just cool. Okay, so Metroid Prime's main gimmick is the scanning visor. You pull it up to scan shit to learn more about it, like enemy weak points, and also filling up your completion rating. Yeah, we're not 100%ing this game, that takes too long, and I only have so much sanity dealing with lag and editing videos. So we'll at least get to 75% to see the special ending, not the secret ending because that's spoiler territory if you don't know about it. Yeah, so this level is pretty linear and short, and this game demonstrated its amazing graphical fidelity, but let's get on to the first boss fight of the game, the Parasite Queen. Okay, so when you meet the Parasite Queen, it's intimidating at first, but don't worry, she goes down insanely quickly. Using mouse and keyboard already makes the boss 3 times as pathetic. Also, be sure you scan every single boss, because sometimes if you do that, you can do more damage to them. It's a shame that they don't let you stay in this room for long, because it's actually quite cool in my opinion, but when you kill this boss, a countdown starts, and for some reason the announcer is speaking English on an alien ship.
Evacuate immediately.
It's either Samus' suit telling her this, but it doesn't really sound like it. It doesn't matter. As you make your way through some tunnels, while getting green slime on your face, you see, goddammit, Ridley. Oh well, chronologically, this is Samus' second time seeing him on a mission. Anyways, an explosion causes Samus to lose all of her abilities. Okay, Samus has survived much worse, but a danky fucking explosion causes her suit to keel over.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck. Oh my.
But as you escape, Ridley can be seen flying in space, without any way to move.
Fucking roll!
Don't tell me to stop copying Civvy, he doesn't hold a monopoly on using Gordon Ramsay clips. When you land on Talon 4, it's a silent walk with relaxing music, until you get to the Chozo Ruins, which are introduced brilliantly. I was on my phone and not paying attention to where I was going, so I got killed by some bugs. So that death doesn't count since I wasn't paying attention. But I made sure when I was on my way back that I didn't kill myself. Which I guarantee won't happen for the rest of this run. Remember, I've been playing this game for 12 fucking years. When you come up to the next mini-boss, it plays some awesome music for a shitty boss. Then you shoot wasps that come out of a nest. Wow, unique. Don't worry, the next boss is a little more interesting. Still easier than anything, so let me get this out of the way. You have missiles for a reason. They can one-hit smaller enemies. Use the missiles for splash damage, you can kill big groups of these fucking beetles. Don't believe me? Just watch. Yeah, now you have the missiles and Morph Ball, 2 key abilities that you will use a lot to solve puzzles and just get around quicker in general. You use your new upgrades to access the new areas, which you can do here, where you fight another wasp nest to get the Morph Ball bombs, and here, where you can scan a few things to get the Charge Beam. Okay, so this is your second actual boss, but by now you have a few key abilities. Charge Beam, Missiles, Morph Ball, and the Ball Bombs. These are your core upgrades you'll be playing around with. But this boss is pretty easy. You stun him with missiles or your Charge Beam, and then you knock out the sun reflectors, and then bomb his tunnels. Do this 4 times and he's down. The hardest part of this boss is getting past its attacks, which are nearly impossible to dodge, but they do negligible damage. Then once you kill him, you get the Varia suit, which protects you from extreme temperatures, so I guess Samus can be around me now. You know what, just cut that was garbage. Welcome to Fire and Brimstone. If you don't like lava levels in game, then too fucking bad, because get used to coming to Magmore Caverns. Also, I just want to get this out of the way before we continue. Collect every single missile expansion or collectible you see. Even if you hear the sound nearby, find it, because it will help you in the long run. If you don't take these upgrades, especially on higher skills, you will have a bad time. Anyways, this area isn't my least favorite. I actually like the music track in this section. Have a listen. Welcome to the most visually striking level in the game. After going through hell, you make it to a place that looks cold. Listen, the best thing to do here is clench your butt, because this is where they start throwing more challenging enemies at you. Meet the baby Sheegoth. Not the most challenging enemy, but I fucking hate fighting them. They always come in pairs, and you have to multitask getting around behind them and laying in your attacks. You want a tip? Unload all your missiles into their back. That's why you need to collect every single missile expansion you see. Hey, some of these enemies are far more annoying in the game, but yeah, you get the boost ball upgrade and you have to go back through Magmore Caverns. This is the second worst part in the game. The worst is coming up, don't worry. You have to backtrack to the Talon Overworld to get the space jump boots, which is a double jump feature that works so well. You can even sequence break with it, but we're not doing that because we have to do this legit, partly why I picked the trilogy version over the NTSC version, because after getting these boots, you have to go back through the lava caves to Phendrana. Just
God damn it!
Getting the wave beam is a lot like getting the morph ball. Fight a few smaller versions of the big version. It's too easy, mainly because I cheat the Sheegoth by doing the morph ball trick, because honestly, fuck that missile duel stuff. Then after we get the wave beam, we have to go through the worst section in the game to get the thermal visor. You finally meet the Metroid in this section too, which are not very hard to kill. Like, one super missile will usually do it, or freeze them with the ice beam, and then one missile. One missile? Oh yeah, you do get 2 power-ups during the section. The super missile, which costs 5 missiles to use, and the thermal visor, which allows you to pick up heat signatures. Some people might call this a predator vision, but I don't really see it. And then you get to fight the worst boss in the game right after going through all this fucking darkness. Look, Thardus is a pain in the ass. He takes fucking forever to kill, and he wouldn't let me hit him with the fucking super missiles, so I was stuck spamming the wave beam at him. Also, the wave beam, this weapon, is a travesty. I didn't know this weapon could ever be so bad in a Metroid game. It fucking sucks. The projectiles are slow and the damage output is appalling and the fire rate is retarded. This gun is used to solve logic puzzles where you fix circuits instead of shooting enemies. It would be cool if you could use the thermal visor and combine it with wave beam and shoot through certain solid objects, but no, you don't, which sucks. Anyways, you kill Thardus by switching to your thermal visor and shooting his glowing spots with the wave beam. Then, when it gets too hot, you switch back to your combat visor and you unload on him with the wave beam or your super missiles, or just spam him with the power beam, which is infinitely more tedious. But you just repeat the cycle until you blow him up, and then it plays this hilarious cutscene. Okay, it's time to start accessing some new areas. After you beat Thardus, you get the spider ball, and then you need to start thinking about what you can access. That's the thing about Metroidvanias, is that once you get one upgrade, you need to think about how you can access new areas to get more upgrades. So we used the spider ball to reach that one part in Chozo Ruins that was previously unreachable, and it's right where you get your second energy tank. Then you make your way through some rooms, you meet the Chozo ghost in a room over. These guys aren't too tough to kill. On normal, a well-placed super missile can kill one. On veteran and hyper mode, it takes 1 or 2 super missiles and then a charge shot. Chozo ghost can only be killed with the power beam, but after doing some puzzles, you get the ice beam. Also, did I mention how overpowered super missiles actually are? Their splash damage is awesome. And you know how annoying these beetles are? Well, here's a big group of them being blown up by one super missile. But eventually you get the ice beam after annoying half-pipe tests, which I do hate, especially when I have to use a keyboard and mouse. My thumb hurts from using the spacebar like that, but let me get to the ice beam and oh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ice Beam. Not the most creative name, but this weapon is capable of freezing enemies to where you can blast them with a missile and shatter them to a million pieces. I love it even if the projectile speed and fire rate are both slow. So you're just wandering around, having fun with your new ice beam. Oh yeah, just tearing through lava enemies in Magmore Caverns, which brings me to this part where you have to get to Phendrana's edge. Use the spider ball to climb up this thing, and then use the ice beam to get through the door. Now this area is pretty neat, and is by far my favorite in the main area of Phendrana Drifts. The music is cool, the verticality is nice, and you have to go slowly through the underwater sections to get the gravity suit, which is perhaps the most liberating bit in the game, because you can now move freely through water. Water is now like walking through air. It's great. Oh yeah, it's not just water. You can do it in lava too. Not that you should wade through lava, but you can. But now it's time to do some backtracking. When you make it back to your landing site, you head around back to find the space pirate frigate you destroyed in the first part of the game crash landed close to your ship. So you cross this large gap in the water, and then you enter the facility. The whole damn place is flooded, and the music is just peaceful. Seeing the reactor core like this is awesome, but the whole place really isn't that important. It's just funny how much destruction you can cause in these games, but the water level isn't the issue itself. It's what's on the other side that's the problem. Welcome to hell, kids. The Phazon mines are the coolest but also the scariest parts of the game. Now we've gotten to the hardest parts of the game. A 30-minute journey to the middle of the Phazon mines. We got a few new enemies to fight. The space pirates. In my opinion, the space pirates are the most fun enemies to fight in this game. We encountered them earlier in Findrana Drifts, but you get to fight more of them here. There's a ton of enemies to shoot here too, but space pirates are as easy as freezing them and shooting a missile in their face. But there's some fantastic puzzles in this area too. This one room where you have to reach different levels to turn around a giant tower and climb it up with the spider ball, which is honestly not the hardest puzzle, but it's still pretty neat. Also, the rooms have great verticality. It's a shame that it's not utilized much for anything except for platforming. Vertical level design is good because you have to focus on targets above as well as below you, but when you make it to the bottom of the Phazon mines, you shoot one super missile at this robot and do a maze where it's not even remotely hard and knock it out in like 10 seconds, but the power up you get is the power bomb. The power bomb's fucking shred. It's like a one-hit kill on every smaller enemy. It's fucking glorious. But not as awesome as the next weapon you're getting, but you do have to use those power bombs to get access to some of the areas you couldn't yet go. Like you get the Grapple Beam, which is one of the many movement options, but it's pretty situational and you won't use the Grapple Beam outside anything else than swinging. And I also decided to collect my first Chozo artifact in the Phazon mines by killing this Phazon mutated elite pirate. Backtracking through Magmore again, but this time you don't have to wade through the lava to get through quicker. You can just swing by with the Grapple Beam and also nab a few upgrades couldn't before, but this time to get the best weapon in the game, the Plasma Beam. But before you can get it, you have to do the Spider Ball obstacle course, which is fun. I do wish there were more of these obstacle courses that you use with the Spider Ball. They're actually kind of fun, but the Plasma Beam is just... Oh yeah, Plasma Beam is fucking glorious, but now that we have the Plasma Beam, we need a few expansions as well as the Xray Visor. I don't really know much of a utility for the Xray Visor in this game outside of seeing floating platforms that are invisible and using it to track Chozo ghosts and other invisible enemies, but other than that, it's not used that much. It's a shame too because it's pretty cool. Even the thermal visor doesn't even get used that much. It's a shame. These visors are neat. I couldn't tell you why they aren't used, but that's the thing with these minor upgrades. Nobody fucking cares about them, but you can see Samus's arms inside her arm cannon when you have the Xray Visor on, which is neat. Anyways, to get to the Xray Xray Visor, you have to go back to the Talon overworld, go up to the top of this room, and go through this room where you have to get the power bomb, use the boost ball to go up this half pipe, and then you lay a power bomb once you get the Xray Visor and you have to get out of this room. But since you have the Xray Visor, the Chozo ghosts can no longer hide from you when they show up. So, just fucking murder the Chozo ghosts. You are completely overpowered at this point in the game. You have almost every single upgrade in the entire game. You make your way back down through the Phazon Mines, since that's where you need to go in order to progress, but the depths is where you need to enter into the Metroid breeding grounds. This place is dreadful. Not the level design. The level design itself is actually pretty good, but the atmosphere, this place feels cold and dangerous. It's dark and there are Metroids everywhere. You keep going deeper and deeper into hell itself, and when you finally make it to the very bottom, you see the biggest fucking space pirate that you've ever seen, the Omega Pirate. This boss isn't too hard if you know how to cheat it, which is to roll between its legs, drop a big power bomb, and watch as his armor just explodes. Switch to your Xray Visor and jump around like a madman, avoiding the smaller pirates he spawns. And then when he shows up in one of these Phazon pools, just unload all your charge combos into him. It's not even remotely hard. I knock him down in like 3 minutes. My record is 54 seconds on normal mode, but the pirate falls on top of you, possibly breaking a few bones in your body, but it doesn't even matter because Samus absorbs the Phazon and gets the Phazon suit, which is perhaps the most badass looking armor in any video game I've seen. It's black and glowing red. This suit protects you from any and all radiation. We're not making HEV jokes until we get to Metroid Prime 3. Okay, so before we can fight the final boss, for some reason we have to collect a bunch of MacGuffins for seemingly no reason. But I started to collect Chozo artifacts about halfway through the game after I got the Grapple Beam. You guys remember that. If you don't, then you're fucking retarded. The artifacts are spread throughout the entire planet, but I have all their locations memorized, so finding them is more of a chore than an actual challenge for me. But once you get the artifacts, you can go and fight the penultimate boss of the game. Oh boy, kids, here we go. Finale of the game. We've got 2 bosses left and they're both awesome, but at first we gotta finish the worst of the 2, which is a shame because they're both good fights. They get a bit boring though. You've collected all the artifacts at this point, and you make your way to the temple to collect last artifact that most people get first, but I save it for last because it's easier that way. And when you almost make it to the impact crater, Medley shows up and blows your shit up, but at this point you're ready to fucking kill the bastard in a one-on-one duel to the death. Medley is a boring fight when he's flying around for 30 seconds at a time sometimes, which is insanely tedious, but when you shoot him enough times he gets grounded and his wings burn up, which I'm pretty sure towards the end when I got him stunned, my hits weren't registering even when I was shooting his weak spot. But it doesn't matter because Ridley goes down after like 30 years of shooting him. As tedious as this boss is, it's exciting because of the music. But once you blow the annoying son of a bitch up, you can teleport to the impact crater, which I'm leaving a huge spoiler warning because you don't need any pro tips because it's quite straightforward. But if you played this before, then you know what's coming. You teleport to the lowest point in the game, the impact crater. Not the most creative name, but it gets the job done. This area is definitely easy and short if you have like 5 power bombs to deal with fission Metroids, which are awful. Fuck fission Metroids. Fighting them sucks more dick than your mom does, but when you make it to the top, you meet Metroid Prime. Turn on your scan visor and chase after him. This fight is more of a test of endurance than it is skill. He's not even remotely hard in any of his phases. Oh, I'm sorry. Her. Half change that because diehard Metroid fans will burn my fucking corpse over over it. Metroid Prime's first phase tests your beam switching abilities. All you do is spam attacks at her and dodge her easy to avoid attacks, then once you take her down, it's on to her second phase, which is a bit tougher but still pathetically easy. Maybe it's not easy, it's just that I've been playing this game for over a decade. What you're supposed to do is wait for her to shit out this pure puddle of Phazon, and then stand in it and blow your radioactive load all over her until she heals over. She'll even spawn some Metroids to fight, but they're not a problem until they become Fission Metroids, which I just powerbomb them and let that do all the work while I search around for the main boss, which the second phase tests your visor switching abilities, but I've memorized the pattern. First Xray Visor, then Thermal Visor, then Combat Visor. It repeats too, so you can just keep doing it, but once you finally kill her, there's no awesome escape sequence like the beginning of the game, just a cool face reveal, which has some of the nicest looking facial animation for any game character. Like, I haven't seen anything this good looking in around the time period other than Half-Life 2, but Metroid Prime is a way better looking game than Half-Life 2, and it's older and released on weaker hardware, which is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, kids, that was Metroid Prime. If you enjoyed the video, then please drop a like and consider subscribing, because if I don't reach 1,000 subs by May of next year, I quit YouTube and have to get a real job, and I won't really have time for YouTube after I do so, especially if I ever get a girlfriend, which I doubt will ever happen, but it's possible. But thank you for watching anyways. It doesn't mean a lot though if you don't share this video around on social media, but thanks for watching anyways. Anyways, click off my channel and go watch something else, or watch another one of my awesome videos. That's it for today. Thanks and bye bye.